This is the first generation Fujifilm X100. I bought it back in 2012 because I loved its beautiful design. In 2022, I upgraded to the X100VI. It's perfect for walks and hikes when you don't want to carry lots of gear. Today I'll show you the essential accessories I use with it. First of all, a battery charger. It was an unpleasant surprise for me that the new X100 series cameras don't come with a charger. Of course, the camera itself can serve as a charger, but this doesn't work at all for me. So I bought a separate charger and a second battery so that I can charge batteries anywhere. A special ring for mounting filters and a protective filter. It's very strange to have a dust and moisture resistant camera with a weak spot. Moreover, a fixed lens needs to be protected. So if I need to ensure perfect quality, I remove the filter, but for everyday shooting, the filter acts as permanent protection. Especially since when I put the standard cap on the camera, it doesn't fit in my case, which I'll talk about in the next point. A case is the final item on my must-have purchases list from my point of view. I bought this case, which I talked about in detail in one of my other videos on the channel. However, I'll remind you that I don't use a lens cap, so my hiking kit consists of the camera with a protective filter attached, a case where it all fits, and an extra battery with a charger. And this is what I simply throw in my backpack and carry with me every day. Now let's move on to optional accessories. Since I sometimes shoot video and sometimes want to capture a landscape, I often take this small accessory with me. It allows me to both shoot on my phone and take photos. Very often height isn't that important and you can always find a way to take the shot. So the lack of bulkiness and weight matters more to me than what professional tripods offer, especially since professional quality landscape photography, for which a good tripod would be important, is not a priority for me. Since I sometimes shoot with a tripod, I decided that this classic mechanical design shutter release cable would suit my style. Of course, you can always use the delayed shutter release function, but Fujifilm X100 cameras are not only about logic and functionality, they're also about special feelings. So I have such a cable. Since I sometimes photograph myself and the Fujifilm X100V doesn't have a rotating screen for this, I use this little mirror. It was given to me as a gift and doesn't quite fit this camera model because the screen is not centered, but it still allows me to roughly evaluate the scene and control the process. You can easily make such an accessory yourself using a mirror and cardboard or other materials at hand. And what about you? What accessories do you have? Write in the comments.